This is the Speedmax CF8, and this is my new bike. So here it is. I decided to take the jump and to invest in a triathlon bike. I had the bike for a couple of months now, so I thought I will do a first review, first impression of the bike. Keep in mind that this is my first triathlon bike, so I cannot really compare, but I can tell you what I like, what I don't, or what I would like to change. So this is Canyon entry-level triathlon bike. I think we can say that. It's not the very cheapest one, because this one actually comes with, you will see, Ultegra group set, which is a bit better quality, a bit higher quality material, but still it's the most affordable of the range, and in general I would say it's probably one of the most affordable triathlon bike on the market, so it remains quite expensive and quite an investment. The main difference with a normal bike is the position. Basically, you're going to sit here, of course, but the idea with the triathlon bike is that you spend most of the time leaning on these, so that you're actually lower on the position of the bike, and you offer less resistance to the wind. You're more aerodynamic, and therefore you travel quicker at the same effort. So you have the flat bars here. You still brake, from the wide flat handlebar, but you change the gears from here. I'll show it to you now, but as you are actually on the position, you can change the gears. What I noticed immediately when I took the bike out is, that it really feels like a machine. It's probably not the most beautiful bike. It's really designed to be functional. But I thought this wheels looks really nice, and this bike actually come with Renault's wheels, AR. I think it's AR80 at the back, which is much deeper, also good for aerodynamics, and not as deep as the front. You can already feel the difference where you're on this bike, how much more it is hauling compared to having cheaper wheels. Overall, the quality of the bike feels quite nice. What I would say I'm not so happy about is how it was mounted. There was not lots of effort putting in the finishing, but the quality of the material is quite good. The bike is light. It's 8.2 kilos, so it's definitely lighter than a bit lighter than my road bike. Quite light for a triathlon bike, but this one is a XS, so it's the smallest of the range, and it also affects the weight, of course. What I like about the bike, it's a massive step up from what I had before, from my road bike, because it's a more expensive bike, and it feels like the components are quite good quality. It is also a bike that is really easy to adjust. So as long as you pick roughly the right size, and it's quite easy to find your size on Canyon website, you can find lots of adjustments. So you can move the saddle a lot up and down. You can move it forward and backwards, of course, but you can also tilt it. So you have 3 different points to find the right position. And at the front, you can adjust a lot with the stem, how high or low this goes. And then you can adjust the bars independently, high or lows, as well the angle, so you can see. I went for a bike fit to find actually the best position for me on this bike, and you can see we have actually lifted. Where is it? We have actually lifted the aero bars so that I can be a bit more comfortable. So this you can totally do. You can totally choose the angle. You can choose how wide you put them apart, which is another good point to see, as you can get tense on your shoulders. How high, obviously, you can see I've stacked up quite a few spacer here to be higher. This one should probably be inside so that you don't see it. It's quite ugly. Need to change that. And you can also decide how you move the pads. So the profile design bars that coming with the bikes are actually quite good. The shifters, found them a bit hard at the beginning. But they're actually quite good. I think it's just getting used to it. And you can adjust them. It's not just one or two. You can also micro adjust position of the rear so that the chain doesn't rub against it. So it's actually quite good, even though I didn't realize it at the beginning. Couple of things I didn't like. First of all, I don't know if you can call this false advertising, but Canyon talk a lot about having woman-specific bikes, and this is advertised as a Speedmax SF8 Woman Edition. In reality, when you actually look at all the components, all the geometry of the bike, this is exactly the same bike as sold on the men page. So I think it's totally fine. It's a unisex bike, and as I said, it's highly adjustable, so you can really adapt to your anatomy. But then I don't really see why it's sold as a woman-specific bike, especially because the saddle that is actually provided with the bike, I'll show it to you. So this is a saddle provided with the bike. It's a Visit saddle, large, and actually at the bike fit, the professional told me that he's never met a woman that is actually comfortable on this saddle. So this is obviously not a woman saddle, a woman-specific saddle. It's not written that it's woman-specific anywhere. So obviously they didn't do the effort to actually source woman-specific saddle on a woman-specific bike, which is a shame because then you have to change the saddle. This one is really good, actually. I'm really comfortable on that one. But it's an additional cost. You need to plan in your budget. And at the price of this bike, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Another thing about the woman-specific, or maybe the fact that Canyon didn't put lots of effort on the extra small bike, it's the length of the crank. So this one is 172.5. And this is actually quite big for me. On my road bike, I'm riding 170. 172.5 is actually really big. It's not really standard for this size of bike. So it's just the same crank length as on the S. So ideally, for me to be more comfortable, I probably want to change that one. Again, you know, a new crank of Ultegra, it's quite expensive. So Canyon, please, if you sell a XS bike, can you actually size them properly and the component as well? So definitely some small adjustment to make. But otherwise, I have to say I've been riding this bike indoors quite a bit on the trainer, getting used to the position. Again, I would really recommend if you move from a road bike to a triathlon bike to get a bike fit so that you can actually be properly positioned on the bike, because it's totally different and you can really get injured by overusing some muscle or some joints if you are badly fitted. So I've been riding it indoors quite a bit to get used to the fit. Definitely takes some time to get used to the position. And I've been riding it outdoors three times, I think now, up to 3 hours. So really getting used to it, and I love it. It's a bit. It felt a bit scary at the beginning because you are so low compared to what you are used to. But it's so fast, and when you are down in the aero bar, you just feel like you're just traveling extremely fast. You feel really strong.
What fear?
Exactly.
What fear do you have? You don't have any fears.
No, I'm fearless.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Should I let this guy pass?
No, just go.
Still need to get a bit used to that, but so far so good, and I just need to get used to the bike and to get used to be a bit longer on the saddle. I'm gonna add a bottle cage some at the back, and I'm gonna try to stay a bit longer holding the position to be aero.